Hey y'all, welcome back. This is another special edition of Savannah Community Headlines Live. I am your host, Frandasia Williams, and those who know my soul call me Franny. I'm so happy to be here with you. The second Monday of every month, we have the special edition with the crew from the Racial and Ethnic Approaches to Community Health Grants partners. And so we are speaking with partners, Nichelle Hoskins, Elsie Smalls, and Shante Gadsden. We're going to give you an update today about what's going on with COVID and vaccination awareness and getting the information out there about updated numbers, any updates that we have about how to get vaccinated or any questions about vaccinations, please feel free to put into the chat. And we're also going to hear some information about the amazing Black Breastfeeding Week, which is this week. Tomorrow's the last day. We want to talk about and highlight the importance of Black Breastfeeding Week and why breastfeeding in general is so important. And we're so excited to have you all here to be a part of this conversation. Please do know that there is a chat and we want you commenting and saying hello and hi and good morning. And we want you to let us know if you have a question and be a part of the conversation. That's the entire reason why this platform was created during the pandemic, to keep us all in community conversation, to keep us all collectively in a state of wellness and joy, and have a place to speak about things that are happening in the community, things that are concerning us, as well as be able to be in good community, to be able to talk to someone. So if you are just logging on for your day, or if you are just looking for some general entertainment, then pop in today, give us a watch. And if you're watching the replay, hello, we're happy to have you as well. You can still comment and let us know how you felt about the show. And if you have any questions, we can also still respond to you even if you are in the replay. So welcome and good morning. We're so happy to be here. I'm going to start off by giving us a few announcements, and then we're going to meet our lovely guest. And so this is a good time for you to jump in and say hi to us, and I will make sure that everybody sees it. So first off, community effort works to move Savannah conversations to vaccinations. Hold on, I'm actually going to come back to that one because I want to talk to you guys about vaccinations when we speak with our guest. So let me let you know about Nandi Marshall, who was appointed the new Associate Dean of Academic Affairs. She is one of the partners of the Racial and Ethnic Approaches to Community Health Grant. She's also been a huge part of Black Breastfeeding Week and helping with vaccine policy. So we want to give a shout out to Nandi Marshall today, sending her lots of flowers and love, and congratulations to her for her new title and appointment. And we also wanted to talk to you about what's going on with vaccinations and the numbers. So a community effort works to move Savannah conversations to vaccinations. So The Current did an amazing article where they spoke with Dr. Elsie Smalls, who's actually here today, who's a part of the Healthy Savannah team. And they're talking in this article about a focus on better health education access for Chatham County. And so we will hear from her more about that today, learning more about vaccine hesitancy and talking about the listening sessions that were conducted to be able to get more of an awareness about what's going on with vaccine hesitancy, as well as what's going on with those of you who have decided that you want to know more about vaccines or that you want to be vaccinated. And those listening sessions help with that. So just so we know what's going on in Chatham County with the COVID vaccine rate, it has recently surpassed 50% mark. And so let's go ahead and get Dr. Elsie Smalls and Nichelle Hoskins on today to begin this discussion and conversation about COVID and the vaccinations and what's going on. And you'll also see Shante Gadsden here, who is here to talk to us about Black Breastfeeding Week. So this is our entire panel. And we will all be popping in to talk to you today about what's going on. Everyone pop your mics on. I did turn them off during the intro, and I might need to do that actually. No, yep, we're back. Elsie, can you turn your mic on? And Shante, you can turn your mic on. All right. Hello. First and foremost, we can get started talking about how you're doing today.
Hey, I'm well.
Doing very well.
I'm well too.
Very well.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good Monday. And we are, I'm feeling fall transitions happening. I don't know if you all are all starting to feel fall transitions happening, but I do feel, you know what it is? It's like this coolness that comes in the air. It's like an undertone.
Yeah.
You know how we have skin undertones? I feel like the air has undertones. And so that's
Get
how
out early enough.
yeah, you do. You feel like that undertone coolness of just like, oh, I don't know. The fall does that to you. It's just kind of like, oh. And so I'm feeling
I
it.
notice that when I go to the farmer's market or the grocery store, I start seeing mums. You know, instead of seeing vegetables, they start replacing them with mums, and for some reason, it kind of makes me a little sad. Like,
It does. It does. I agree. I was at the farmer's market on Saturday, and first of all, I didn't know next week was the last week. I don't know why I assumed I had all of September. It makes sense. It makes sense. But I was talking to one of the main farmers. I go to a lovely couple, and they didn't have most of the stuff that they usually have. And I was like, oh, it's hitting me. It's finally hitting me.
Mums, those bumpy gourds, and then pumpkin spice everything. That all means.
How many people are happy about that, though? I haven't ever gotten into the pumpkin spice craze. Have y'all?
We don't do pumpkins down south anyway.
Yeah. I grew up on a farm, so pumpkins. We grew pumpkins, and like you said, I agree with you, Franny. I was telling my daughter, I could feel that, like you said, that undertone. You have to get up really early in the morning or late in the afternoon, but you can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it, and it's nice. I was telling everyone before we got live today that it's just hot, and it's the first of all, sending love to anyone who has family in any of the areas affected by the hurricane. Anyone in Louisiana, sending love to everyone. I grew up in Louisiana. My heart goes out to you. We have tons of family and friends in the region that are safe, and we just want to send love and make sure that everybody is safe and taken care of and has plenty of food and water, and hopefully this thing passes without doing too much more damage. And we just want to send you coverage and grace during this time. So sending love to all those affected or in the path of the storm, in the eye of the storm. We're here for you, and we're sending you love, hearts, virtual hearts. But with that, we're feeling like this hot breath heat is what I call it. Is what I've been feeling, and it's just been. I finally had a moment of okay, summer can go. I love summer. It's my favorite season. I think I'm ready though. Plus my hair. I haven't been able to have a good hair day in probably a month, and it's just I'm over it. So let's move on. Let's move on. So anyway, so now that we're all acquainted. Good morning, Ruby. Good morning, Healthy Savannah. Good morning, Marjorie Young. Good morning, everybody. We're so happy to see you here. And please continue to join in on the conversation and send us your love and any questions that you may have. Let's dig in with talking about that last number that I just said about the vaccine rate surpasses 50%, which is good. And we also have seen an increase in hospitalizations happening as well due to just the Delta variant. And so let's just update what we know about COVID vaccine information and just where are we with that, lovely people.
Yeah, well, that number was really heartening because Chatham County is one of, as I recall, one of only 11 counties that have surpassed the state average and have surpassed the 50% mark, which is for one vaccine, people who have been vaccinated once. So that was really, really encouraging. Of course, there are plenty of numbers. I don't want to inundate anybody with a bunch of numbers, but the community transmission index is the number that the mayor and the school system, they all look at, and we all were hoping that it would get down below 100 and stay there. It was at around 96 in mid-July. And unfortunately, currently, it is at 1,396. No, sorry, 1,360. Okay. 1,360. We still are trying to get down to 100. And so clearly we've got a lot of transmission going on in the county. So that's something we really need to work on by staying masked. And if you're hesitant about getting the vaccine because you are looking for more information, get that information and then make that decision, because our health depends upon it. One of the other things is that the FDA recently approved its first vaccine. So you remember all of the vaccines were under kind of emergency or provisionary use, because this is an emergency situation. But Pfizer recently got approved by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and under that approval, for people ages 16 and older, this drug is approved for use in those ages. It is provisionally approved still for people 12, 13, 14, and 15. So for those who might have been waiting for FDA approval of one of the drugs, there we go. It's already done.
Yeah. Good to know. Thank you so much for notating that and spotlighting that for anybody who wasn't aware of that information. And I know that reports have said that with this new FDA approval, they are hoping that it will instill more confidence in the vaccine.
Right. And then two more quick things. There was also the recommendation that folks get additional shots and booster shots. And I'd say those are two different things. Additional shots are for those who may be going through cancer treatment, or they have immune deficiency of some sort. Maybe they're taking steroids or other drugs to prevent rejection of an organ. So folks in that category are asked to talk to their doctors about getting a third shot. So it's different from a booster, because this third shot is supposed to bring their immunity up to what a person with an unchanged immune system would experience. So there is an additional shot, and then for those of us who have had our two and we have normal immunity systems, we're supposed to be considering getting a booster. I believe it is 8 months after our last shot. So that's still under debate. But those who first got their shots they got them in December and January. So about this time, some of the first people who got their shots should be getting their third shot.
Okay.
But be sure to talk to your physician, your caregiver, your pharmacist, your personal advisor to get the information you need.
Thank you. We do have a question that came through from Carmel Gavinhern. Hello, Carmel. Thank you for joining us. She's super excited about the 50% mark. She does have a question. She says, what do you recommend to those who are still unsure about getting vaccines? Dr. Smalls, do you have any input on that?
That's a great question, because, unfortunately, like I said, it's a wonderful that we're at that 50% mark, but clearly we have 50% that's not there. And so in terms of those who are still unsure about becoming vaccinated or taking the vaccine, it's about having a conversation with someone who knows information about vaccines, about healthy decisions, etc. And it could be, if you have a relationship with a pharmacist, a relationship with your physician that you go to on a normal basis, a relationship that you have with someone who works in the health profession or works in the health department, or someone who's, again, familiar with that side of the vaccine, and having that conversation with that person that you feel comfortable with, and sharing what you're feeling about why you are unsure about the vaccine, so that you can get good, solid information. There is a ton of information out there, but not all of it is factual. Not all of it is right. Not all of it is good. Not all of it is true. Mm-hmm. And so you have to be able to sort through all of that. And that's why it's important to have that conversation with someone that you already have a relationship with or feel can give you, and then make an informed decision. But if all else fails and you don't have that person out there or a group of people that you feel comfortable having a conversation, keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do. Keep yourself safe, mask, making sure you keep your, washing your hands and all the stuff that's been recommended for over a year now.
Yeah. I think that's an important note, Dr. Smalls, and thank you so much for saying that, is let's not let go of these habits that we have really been doubling down on over the past year, because we do have these higher vaccination rates and we do have less people who are getting hospitalized, and thankfully we have less people who are having a response that's more negative to the virus. We have less. It's not that it's not happening. There are less. The numbers have fallen, but we still are in a state where we have to be conscious and smart and really careful. I think we are ready. I think everyone is ready, right? People are ready. They're like,
right.
And
the masking has been really effective in reducing our seasonal flu rates. So, we almost didn't have a seasonal flu season last year because of the things that we were doing and we should have been doing in the first place: washing hands, staying apart, wearing our masks. So we know that masking works. We know it's not perfect. We also know that vaccines are not perfect, but together, all of these measures really help.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing that up, Nichelle. We have a question, Carmel, who also asked the question about the last question that we had about vaccines. She also said she's heard that it might be a rough flu season. Should we be concerned?
Absolutely. The irony is that although we didn't have a tough flu season last year, because we didn't have a tough flu season last year, we don't have a great picture of how to formulate this year's vaccine, or they didn't have a good picture. So it's not quite a shot in the dark, but the sense is that because the season was not that brutal, we don't know what virus to target. So we usually take our lead from the Southern Hemisphere and how Australia and the rest of those folks, what virus hit them. And so they're going to do the best they can to formulate what is needed to combat the expected seasonal flu virus this year. So still, take care, keep those mouths covered and hands washed.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's a day-by-day effort at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a day-by-day effort. And I want to send encouragement to everyone, because I remember when this first thing came down, we were all for sure it would be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We thought 2 weeks, and then it was, okay, a month. Okay, it's 2 months. Okay, it's 3 months. Don't take my summer away. Then it became a whole year. And now we're moving into what feels like it's going to be another year. And it can be discouraging, because I think we have all, so many of us want to just return to habits that worked for us before. The thing about habits in life is that things change, and we have to adapt to the changes that happen in our societies, that we have to adapt to the changes in environment. We have to adapt to changes in life. And so I think it can be really discouraging to try to get back to what used to be okay and what our old habits used to be. And I understand, because it was like just a year ago we weren't doing all this, and so to have to do it all now, it feels like such a shock to our systems. We are in a new time though, and we are adapting. And there's been so many times that we've had to adapt, and this one is not bigger than us. And just like we're fighting to survive, this virus is fighting to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So we all have to adapt and to find a way to stay positive, to stay healthy, to stay safe, and to stay conscious of what's going on in our times now. And so sending love to everyone out there who does want to just get back to doing it without so much thought, and to traveling without so much thought, and all the regulations and all the tests and all the worry. And it's a lot, and it is. And I want to just take a moment to say, we get it. We know, like, it's a lot. We're experiencing it too. And it, we want to wake up and just be like, it's over. We did it. We survived. But, we are surviving. We are thriving, and we are surviving, and it is a day-to-day effort. And so sending encouragement and love to all of you. We're in the good fight. And there is a day when we do have the peace that we're all looking for. There is a day. And Rome wasn't built in a day, so it might not be today and it might not be tomorrow, but we are on the journey. So let's all just stay focused on the journey.
Much additional appreciation to those on the front lines, the physicians, the ER folks.
Yeah,
they are
doctors.
Yeah, they're really inundated and overworked, and it is we really appreciate all of they're doing.
Yeah, I want to send love to school teachers. I know last year for school teachers, for professors, for anyone working in education, it was a complete talk about adapting. Our young learners, all learners were highly affected by this. There was such a change in our educational system last year and so much adaptation that had to happen on the fly. And that I know had to be incredibly strenuous and stressful for all those involved in the education field, in the health field. And then those who were working essential jobs and those who were in restaurants and servicers in those industries, that's also been very difficult and stressful. Business owners. So all of us have been impacted. All of us are having a hard time. And there are some of us who are out there in it a little more than others and who could use a little extra support from the rest of us to make their lives just a little easier. So let's continue to do our part. Is there anything else that we wanted to share about vaccine information? Or I did
just to reiterate some what the advice is, and that we can make a little segue to breastfeeding. Is that the mothers, those who are pregnant people and breastfeeding folks are encouraged to get the vaccination. So again, check with your doc to see what your particular risk and risks are, and make that choice.
Yeah, Shantae. Oh, sorry. I think Dr. Smalls is going to make a comment.
And I do, again, I definitely everything we've said. We're in such a. I know we're maybe having some difficulties right now, but we are definitely, as long as we work together and keep moving forward, we will get out of this. We will move forward. And to that end, I think it's important to remind everyone that we're still going to be doing community listening sessions. That's been a big part of our work and our connection to the community, and making sure that we're on target in terms of what we're doing, how we're doing it, what we're saying, so on and so forth. So that's, we've had several that have been very successful. The conversation that we've had with community members have just been phenomenal. And we are so appreciative of those folks that joined us, shared their insights, their thoughts, their perceptions, their fears, their concerns. And then it's an ongoing process that we will probably be doing, because again, as things change, as we get new information, we want to make sure that what we're sharing is new and right and valid. And so those community listening sessions are important to us and will be ongoing. We are typically going to have them at least once per month. And so we look forward to people continuing to join us, community members, to keep talking to us. That's so important for our work. So that's we just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I'm so happy you did. We have an awesome article from The Current where I believe you were interviewed to speak more about the listening sessions. I have that link up. You can all go and read it to hear more about the feedback from listening sessions. And Dr. Small speaks directly with her experience with the listening sessions and with what we've learned from the listening sessions, as well as just more information and education about what's going on with COVID and vaccine hesitancy. So please do feel free to check that article out. And we are here if you have questions. And if you want to chat about the things that we're discussing in the show today, again, you can hop into the comments. You can also reach out to Healthy Savannah's team on their Facebook page, or send an email to just be able to have someone to direct you to resources and information that can best support you through your journey. We're all on a different journey, and everybody needs support in different ways.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you all so much for all that information and for sharing those updates with us. We appreciate that. And I think Michelle was right. We do have a lovely segue here to start talking about Black Breastfeeding Week and breastfeeding in general. Shantae, before we close out the conversation entirely about vaccinations, I wanted to know if you had any input that you'd like to say about what Michelle mentioned about vaccinations and how pregnant women are being encouraged to move forward with the vaccination.
Yes, Michelle was exactly right. We recommend that moms get vaccinated, but we also let them know to speak with their provider before they make any decisions. So it is a recommendation by the CDC to get the vaccination.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And with that, I want Shante to have a moment to introduce herself. She's here to talk to us about Black Breastfeeding Week and all that's going on with the new policy towards breastfeeding and awareness and making Savannah a more breastfeeding friendly city. And Chatham County. And so we're here to have just a chat about that. So if you have any questions about that, you can hop into the chat as well. So Black Breastfeeding Week is August 25th through 31st, so it ends tomorrow. Shante, can you introduce yourself and tell you what brings you here today?
Hello, guys. I am Shante Gatson. I'm here today to talk about World Breastfeeding Month as well as Black Breastfeeding Week.
Awesome. So what's been happening throughout the week as we celebrated Black Breastfeeding Week these past couple of days? Were there events? Was there information that went out? What were people able to do to get more engaged?
Yes. So last month we had a Black Breastfeeding Week photo shoot where the moms were able to get together and have a photo shoot. And that was basically to encourage and support those moms who are doing it. And so that other moms can see that we have a support group and you can do it too. As well as, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought you said sorry. As well as at the health department, Christina and Dr. Marshall have set up the photo voice project pictures. So you'll be able to go there and see the different pictures of moms breastfeeding, and just to kind of get that support, letting them know that there are moms out there. We're breaking the racial disparities. We're letting them know that we do have Black IBCLCs out there. So we just want to be encouragement during this week.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I do have a question that I think is really going to help highlight why it's so important to talk about this. So why is it important for us to take a month to acknowledge breastfeeding? Why a whole month? Why is this here?
Well, great question. We take the whole month to talk about breastfeeding because we want to talk about the amazing benefits of breastfeeding. We want people to know that breastfeeding is medicine for your baby. It is medicine. So when you think about breastfeeding, think about you giving your baby medicine. And so during this month, we encourage, we support, we motivate, and we educate. That's the most important thing that we want to do during this month of World Breastfeeding Month.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. And I hear people say that all the time, that when something gets a whole month, they're like, well, what am I supposed to know? What's the point? And it's because we're taking a month to highlight and to encourage and to have a collective conversation. But sometimes it's only happening behind closed doors or in your own home or by yourself, and you don't always know that you have the support and a team and people who alike are trying to figure out the best ways to integrate breastfeeding into life, or have questions about breastfeeding, or want to feel more support with breastfeeding. There are women who might be the only person in their family who has ever breastfed, and they don't have anyone to talk to. And there's so many different ranges of what breastfeeding looks like for different women. And so a whole month to show support and love is what's happening right now. So thank you so much for sharing that. Can you tell us more about your work with Mommy Moments? And what is Mommy Moments?
Yeah, so Mommy Moments was something that I came up with to start during Black Breastfeeding Week, to just kind of give moms a platform to be a peer support. So I just wanted them to be able to tell their story. How's their breastfeeding journey going? How are they doing? You know, just to talk about the emotional stress, if anything, and letting other women know that, okay, I see that she's doing it. I can do it too. Okay, she's going through this issue. I can do it too. So we want to just create that peer support, because peer support is everything. Knowing that someone else is going through a like situation, even if it's like, oh, I got a clogged duct. She had a clogged duct. I can get through this, you know, knowing that someone like you is out there. So that's what Mom about.
The first thing we do is we go onto the internet trying to see if someone else has the same issue as us. You like when you start, I've been doing it all week. You go Google, you're like, is this normal? Da, 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 da. And then we freak ourselves out because so many other things populate that I didn't ask about. And so it's like having mommy moments and having a community to plug into helps kind of demystify some of the things that are going on in our heads and our fears, and gives a direct place to ask these questions and find this commonalities and community. So I think that's amazing. How do people access mommy moments?
So just be on the lookout. We'll have flyers at the YMCAs, the health departments. Once we get started, we'll have flyers pretty much everywhere. And also on my Facebook page, Glow Lactation, I will also have a link there where you can access it. It will be live on Facebook as well, so you'll be able to see it. So be on the lookout. I'm excited about it.
It's coming. Yes. All right. Very, very nice. Thank you so much. While I have you, Dr. Nani Marshall, she has come on to this show before, and she spoke about policy change that she was working on to be able to deal directly with the common disparities that we are noticing with breastfeeding. And so I think that so many people don't realize how many common disparities that there are, and that our society may not always recognize that there are barriers. And can you speak just to what some of the barriers and the disparities are in breastfeeding?
Yes, your phone was going out a little bit, but I think
I'm so sorry.
Heard you.
Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yes, a little bit, because it was going in and out. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. We're live, y'all, and so sometimes the stuff that comes in can be a little bit choppy, or we can hear extra things. So it happens. So what are the common disparities with breastfeeding that we as a society don't always recognize?
Gotcha. So one thing we don't recognize is just lack of support. So moms don't have that support that they need to continue their journey. Sometimes around them, their family members are like, you're still doing that? Or, you know, they don't have that support that they need to continue on when they're going through like the hard times, or if they need that extra push to say, you got this, you're giving your baby medicine. So having support is one of the main things that I've noticed that that moms need. And then access to care. So they don't have that access that they need to see an IBCLC or see someone who is able to help them. Also, lack of Black IBCLCs. We need that. We need more of us. So definitely those are my top 3 that I can think of off the top of my head that we really need.
Yeah, and just to like more reiterate your point, how can we better support breastfeeding mothers? What can we do as a society and as individuals?
One thing I would say is getting educated. So if you know someone that is about to breastfeed or that's already breastfeeding, just reading a little bit of information about it, learning about why is this mom doing this and what is her goal? How can you better support her? Because that's really it. You want to support that mom. So if she says, I want to breastfeed my baby for 2 weeks, guess what? We're supporting her. This is going to be the best 2 weeks ever. So being that support system is just everything for a mom, and just helping her through that time. I think that's the best way that we as a community can just be better, just support, get educated, and understand why this mom is doing what she's doing.
Yeah, I totally hear you. And I think that is so great. We do have a question about what is IBCLC? What does that mean?
So IBCLC is International Board Certified Lactation Consultant.
There we go. Okay. And what does that job entail? Or when you work with an IBCLC, what would your experience be?
So you're working with the expert on lactation. So we're helping moms with breastfeeding, any issues that they may run into as far as clogged ducts or mastitis or anything that the mom has issue with as far as breastfeeding goes. Or if they're even pumping, we want to help moms from 0 to 100. We're helping them in the lactation phase. If they stop pumping and they want to start back, we're throughout the whole journey. So that's what we do.
Can you receive IBCLC care virtually? Or
yes, we can.
Okay. I think that's really an important thing to notate right now with everything that's going on. I know a lot of appointments have turned to virtual and telemedicine. So for those of you who might not have access to it in a in-person setting, maybe virtual is also a way. I know that Nichelle, I think you had a question or something you wanted to add on to what Shantae was saying.
Yeah, I have learned so much from Shantae and from Dr. Grimm and Dr. Marshall about breastfeeding more than I ever knew. And one of the things I really appreciated was that breastfeeding is medicine. And I'm wondering if could you tell us, Shantae, some of those benefits? Like I think there's a benefit to reducing the risk of breast cancer among men and women.
Mm-hmm. So some of the benefits are antibodies. So your body produces antibodies for your baby. How about that? Like think about, that's why we call it medicine, because your body has antibodies for your baby. So it protects against illnesses and viruses and bacteria. It's just so amazing as to what our bodies can do. Also, type 1 and 2 diabetes, obesity. There's just a whole long list of things that our bodies do for our babies. So that's why I say breastfeeding is medicine. And like Nichelle just mentioned, cancer, breast cancer, it reduces your risk of getting breast cancer from moms. It contracts your uterus back faster. So it's so many, and ovarian cancer for moms. It's so many benefits of breastfeeding for moms and babies. So we want to encourage moms and babies because it's healthy for the mom and the baby.
Thank you so much, Shantae, for sharing that with us and our lovely viewers. If you do have any questions, if you just even want to just share your experience, and if, no matter what side of it you're on, all stories are valid, all experiences are valid. You are welcome to comment here. You are welcome to reach out to Shantae Gadsden on her Facebook page at Glow Lactation and get involved with the community that she has there. And you can also be on the lookout for Mommy Moments, as she discussed, which is coming up, and so that you can be a part of a community and integrate discussing breastfeeding into your daily life and into your support system and into your tribe, because you deserve to have that support and those resources. Thank you so much, Shantae, for sharing everything that you shared with us today. Do you have any final thoughts or final points?
I would just say continue to be a support if you are doing that. Continue to just encourage and inspire moms to continue their journey. That's all I can really say is what I do as a lactation consultant is support the moms. And so that's the most important thing I feel like my job entails, is just being that support person through that time that they're having.
We have a question for you. What is your favorite part of being an IBCLC?
My favorite part, I would say, it's just cuddling the babies. But really, my favorite part is, like I said, being that support person for the moms. I just love just being there. So sometimes I don't have to say anything. Sometimes I just listen. And that's one of the tools that I take with me everywhere I go. It's just being a good listener and seeing what that mom needs, because that's when I can support. Understanding what the mom needs is when I can better support her. Oh, the sound went out.
Thank you for that. Nonverbal. I think that is so important to discuss support and a welcoming of the conversations, because we're not far out of a time where it was it's still taboo to talk about breastfeeding. It's still taboo to need to breastfeed in public, and the experiences and the stories that women have just trying to feed their children and do what they need to do for their baby. And it can be very thwarting and uncomfortable to have these conversations and not always know if they'll be receptive or accepted or received well. And it can, and I think for a lot of women, it has created some shame and embarrassment that could have been avoided with more support and speaking to someone who understood.
Right.
Thank you so much, Shantae. Dr. Smalls or Nichelle, do you have any additional points or anything else you'd like to say in our final closing moments of the show today?
No, we're all good.
All right.
Same here.
Same here. Okay, y'all, thank you so much for this awesome, amazing conversation. We were able to update you on vaccine advocacy and awareness and education. We were also able to talk about Breastfeeding Month and Black Breastfeeding Week and why it's important to discuss breastfeeding and to be supportive of those who are breastfeeding, as well as provide some resources to those who are breastfeeding and would like some assistance or support in their journey. So I think the tone of today's show was a lot of encouragement. A lot of encouragement on all spectrums, on all sides. I hope you feel our warm hugs. I hope you feel our love. I hope you feel support. That's the whole reason why this show was started, to be a support. This is Savannah Community Headlines Live. It happens every Monday at 9 a.m. Next week, you will hear from the lovely team at I Volunteer about the nonprofit sector. And then the final show of the month is with Savannah Score to talk about small businesses and small business information and education. So you can continue to tune in with us every week to have these community conversations, as well as to stay connected to areas that specifically impact your life and those who are in your realm and in your world. I am your host, Frandasia Williams. Those who know my soul call me Franny. I am the owner and founder of Guided Surrender, which is a lifestyle and wellness company. My entire work is about healing and allowing you to discuss the resistance in your life and to find ways to clear that resistance, because we are not stuck, we are not stagnant, we are dealing with resistance that is created by our fear. So if you'd like to talk more about that, or to integrate a yoga practice into your life and meditation, which I also teach, you can reach out to me at the email below, guidedsurrenderinfo@gmail.com. I'd like to give us a moment to speak, to see our guests one more time. We had Shantae Gadsden with Glow Lactation. You can follow her on her Facebook page at Glow Lactation, and to stay up to date with her and all of her wonderful information about mommy moments. Anything I'm missing, Shantae?
No, I think that's perfect.
Okay, cool. We have Dr. Elsie Smalls, who is giving us information and who hosted those listening sessions about COVID vaccine hesitancy. Dr. Smalls is very well sourced in information about what's going on with vaccines right now. And she wants to be a part of helping you become more confident and aware of what the vaccines are about and why they're important, while also holding space for you and understanding that we are all working through our own fears, our own misinformation, and our own situations. And so she's here to hear from you. Again, you can look at her article with the current GA. The link is here. It's also in the comment section for you to access. Dr. Smalls, do you have any final points, or did I miss anything?
No, great. Thank you so much. It was great being here just this morning.
Thank you. And then we also have Nichelle Hoskins, who's also with the team of Healthy Savannah. Nichelle hosts many of the shows that we do here, and she's also hosting, I believe, is it October, Nichelle, to talk about flu vaccine and what's going on with the seasonal flu? Yes, and so we'll have Nichelle back with us soon to specifically talk about the flu. She is also very, very well sourced with all the services that are happening with Healthy Savannah, and with where you can get vaccines information and vaccine education, as well where you can get vaccinated if you have questions about that. Nichelle does so much work in the community likes to be a voice for making sure that underrepresented communities have an opportunity to be heard and to be represented, not only when we're talking about these topics, but also in integrating programming so that everyone can be included. And Dr. Smalls is a part of that, as well as Shante Gass, and our entire panel is a part of that work with the Racial and Ethnic Approaches to Community Health Grant. Michelle, did I leave anything off for you?
No, you didn't. But I do want to take a moment and thank you for all the work you've done with us, and to acknowledge that this is your last time with us. And I'm so thrilled that we got a chance to be with you on your last show. So thank you for bringing such light and levity, yet substance to our discussions. This one and ones before. All the amazing work you did with our Encourage Health series, keeping the flow and keeping people comfortable talking and sharing their truths. So thank you so much. And,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shante. Thank you, Dr. Smalls. I'm so excited to have that. The show is continuing. It's just me as the host that's not, but we'll see Dr. Smalls and Michelle back next week, and Michelle is hosting one, and the Healthy Savannah team and the rest of the partners will be back. I'm sure Shante, when the time is right, will be back. And so you'll still continue to see your community partners. You'll still continue to be advocated to and have these amazing conversations here. I am just graduating into a new phase into my life and my hosting. So you can stay in touch with me on my Facebook page as well, and follow me on Instagram at Guided Surrender. It has been a pleasure to be the host for this show for the past year, and to be able to work with Encourage Health. All those videos are also accessible on the Care to Trade Facebook page, as well as Healthy Savannah's Facebook page, where it streamed live health segments to discuss how we can integrate health and wellness into our daily lives. And that is what I love to do. And so it has been my pleasure and my honor to be able to serve the community in this way. So to more conversations, to more love, to more encouragement, I'm sending you all off with high vibrations for the rest of your day, and lots of abundance is coming to all of us and to all of you. And thank you for joining us for today's show. And we hope to see you back next week. All right, everyone. Ooh, I was going to say something in another language, but then it escaped me because English is my primary, so I'm going to stick to it. So I'm just going to say bye. Thank you. Thank you for your time, everyone, today. And thank you for your love. And this show has been a amazing opportunity to do, and we are very, very, very happy to be here. It is established by Carriage Trade PR, and we are on and out. Take care.